Okay, my actual reaction to seeing that the book that I'm about to start is on Kindle and it's on sale for $1.49. You better believe I'm gonna be buying it. Literally what we're doing right now. I need to change into something festive. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm ready now. Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video, which is going to be such a fun reading vlog for me personally, and I hope for you guys too, because today we're gonna be reading like it's Christmas in July. So like you just heard me say right at the beginning of this video, I decided to look up the book that I decided I wanted to read first for this video on Kindle, and it's not on Kindle Unlimited, but it is in fact on sale for $1.49. So I will be buying it on Kindle so that I can read it on Kindle and physical copy because I'll read it faster that way. But that brings us obviously to the first book I'm going to be reading in today's video, which is The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. Now, I just want to say that some of you guys might not understand why I'm going to be doing this because it's summer. Shouldn't I be reading summer reads? Yes, and I'm going to be reading plenty of summery vibed books over this summer, but I just felt like I needed a week of reading like it was Christmas in July because A, Christmas in July is a real thing in my personal soul and in my life, and you better believe I'm gonna be watching Hallmark Christmas movies this month.
It's Hallmark Channel's Christmas in July.
But second, I am not a summer person, okay? I never have been, I never will be. The only part about summer that I like is going to the pool. So aside from that, I hate summer. I don't like being hot. I'm already always hot to begin with and I hate sweating. I just don't like it. Fall and winter is personally when I thrive, and that is when I'm at my happiest and my best. So I just kind of felt like I needed a week of giving myself the Christmassy vibes, letting myself feel cozy and Christmassy and just enjoying it, okay? Because what better month to do that than July, other than December, obviously. So yeah, welcome. And we're gonna be starting this book. That's really all I need to say. We're gonna start this book. So let's go start it.
Dear Santa, tell him I'm still holding on. No need for diamonds or trip somewhere in the warm. I know that mistakes don't matter.
I think the best part about this reading vlog so far is just the fact that I'm about to have the coziest night of reading a Christmas book, listening to some Christmas music, and drinking a cup of hot tea. It was gonna be hot chocolate, okay, but it's literally after 10 o'clock and I just decided that I really didn't want hot chocolate after 10 o'clock. So it's hot tea, but it's like a cinnamony flavor. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, I was coming to give you a reading update, but I just felt like I needed to say that that is one of the best parts about this reading vlog so far, is just how cozy tonight is gonna be, even though it is hot as outside. Anyways, moving on, getting to the actual reading update, which is the whole reason I came to talk to you guys. I have been going between reading this physically, reading this on my Kindle, and listening to the audiobook. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. Like, why do I own this physically? Then, as you saw at the beginning of this video, I saw it was on sale for $1.49 on Kindle, so I ended up buying it because I knew that would help me read it faster. And then today, I decided to get it on Audible because I had 5 unused credits and I had a lot of work that I needed to get done today just around the house and also like work wise, so I decided that listening to that while I did some housework was going to help me also, because I wasn't really having much time to read until now, and it's literally 10:26 p.m. So I am currently on page 91, which is chapter 8, so we're not too far into this, but so far I feel like I don't have very many thoughts and feelings. I'm enjoying it. I think that it's very atmospheric, which is really fun. We just currently had a scene where we were at like a Christmas tree lighting in this little town, and that was really fun. I feel like also as I was listening to this audiobook earlier, it really did feel like a movie was playing in my head, and I just absolutely love when that happens because it doesn't happen with every book. I will say I'm very lucky that it does happen to me for most of the books that I read, and I know that some people don't even experience that at all, and I feel very lucky that I am one of those people. So the fact that this one has so far kind of felt like a movie in my head has been really, really fun. fun. Honestly, the vibes are great. We have Grumpy Sunshine, but she's the grump and he's the sunshine. And so far, I've actually really been loving his POV a lot, like seeing just how genuinely sweet he is to this girl, even though he doesn't really want to be because he's kind of like sworn off women, but he's so sweet to her because he just genuinely wants to. It's just so cute and sweet and wholesome, and I'm really enjoying it. And I will say, with saying it's wholesome, it's also not wholesome because this is definitely going to be spicy. I will say that the dedication literally says, and I quote, "For anyone who ever wished Hallmark Christmas movies were steamier, this one might do the trick." If that wasn't the dedication, I would still know that it was going to be spicy based on the thoughts and the type of flirting that our two main characters are having with each other so far. But I've actually really been enjoying it. I think that the way that they're flirting is just super fun, and I don't know, it's just like I'm enjoying it basically. Also, the little playlist at the front, it's honestly a slay. So I have listened to that on Spotify while reading, and I do plan to do that while we're reading tonight because it's a vibe and it's a really good playlist for this book, I feel. So we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a cozy little night and we're gonna do a little bit of reading before bed, and I'm so excited to just sit here with my Christmassy book and my cozy little library, drink my hot cinnamon whatever tea because I don't remember what the flavor is, and listen to some Christmas music. It's gonna be such a vibe. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am because I am really enjoying this, guys.
I know it's cold outside, but give me your hand so I can show you what love is. Dear.
Okay, so I'm on page 103 and I just I needed to come and give you guys these thoughts because the second the thought popped into my head, I was like, oh my god, I need to share this. So I'm on, again, page 103, and it's the grand opening of the Christmas tree farm, and these three older ladies walk in and they're talking to Kira and her worker Iris, and the things that they're saying and how they're acting and how they're all just like a group really started to remind me of Bebet and Patty. Obviously that's not three people, but it really started to remind me of them. If you don't know who that is, that's two of the characters from Gilmore Girls, and they are two older women that are always gossiping and they're just goofy and fun, and that just was giving me those vibes. And Gilmore Girls is my favorite show ever, as those of you who know me know. So I just needed to come share that thought because I was like, yes, yes.
I'm writing Christmas postcards out by the pool. It's 70 degrees in the shade and the breeze is cool. Yeah. Even though we don't get snow, I still think it's the place to go. Where the weather outside doesn't get frightful, it just stays warm and delightful. That's Christmas time in LA.
My hair looks insane. I should not be letting my hair air dry. Anyways, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to catch up on. I have not given you a reading update since finishing The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. And as you guys can tell from the previous clips, I've also started reading The Summer of Christmas, which is our next book. But let's talk about this one first. I feel like my thoughts on this book are a little bit all over the place, if I'm being honest. So I feel like this review is going to come out potentially confusing, but I'm gonna try to make it make as much sense as possible. I feel like I just have very mixed feelings about this book. First, I think that the Christmas atmosphere, the winter atmosphere, the holiday vibes were definitely really there, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this book. I was craving a cozy Christmassy read, and this was definitely that. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, the dedication literally says this is for people who wished Hallmark Christmas movies were spicy. So I knew going into this that it was going to have spice. However, I really just honestly was catching myself while reading this, just completely skimming through the spice scenes as much as possible because it just wasn't, it wasn't doing anything for me in the sense that like I just didn't care. I feel like I also didn't care very much about this couple, and I really haven't thought about them at all since finishing this book. So I think in the sense of giving me the Christmas vibes and being a cozy Christmas read, this did what I needed it to do, but I just really didn't get connected at all to the couple. Honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm like, do I even remember their names? Oh my god, I didn't remember their names. Okay, so that clearly shows you that this was not a favorite, definitely not a favorite Christmas book. I have read a good amount of Christmas romances, so I can definitely say that this would probably be at the bottom of my list. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I know a lot of people actually really love this one and love this series in general, and I'm still really excited to read the other books in this series. Obviously, we have the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I think the newest one is the Strawberry Patch House. I don't know what it's called, but that's in there too. So I'm still really excited to continue this series and read those books. But yeah, this one just really wasn't a favorite, and yeah, I just felt really detached. I feel like I don't have much else to say. I ended up settling on a 3-star for this, which isn't a bad rating, but I don't know. I gave this 3 stars. I don't know what else to say, like genuinely. Anyways, so obviously I have now started The Summer of Christmas by Juliet and Keith Giglio. This is a summer and Christmas romance. We basically are following Ivy. She's a screenwriter. She wrote a story about her and her ex's Nick's relationship. They met in 2nd grade. They were high school sweethearts. They stayed together all throughout college, and then he ended up dumping her a few days before Christmas. So she writes an entire screenplay about their relationship, just changing a few things around, and it gets picked up to be made into a movie. So it's going to be made into a movie in her hometown. So it's going to be made into a movie in her hometown in the middle of summer, but they're turning her hometown in the middle of summer into a Christmas wintry wonderland type setting, if that makes sense. She also ends up running into her ex at some point while the movie is being filmed, and obviously that brings up a lot of emotions, and that's just, you know, a little rocky. So that's kind of what I knew going into this. I am now on page 99, chapter 10, and I now know that she is also currently in a relationship with the person that like is producing her movie. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you how they got to that point, because at the beginning of this book so far, I was feeling very detached. It was starting really slow, and I was like, darn. I have listened to most of it. No, I think I've actually listened to all of it on audiobook so far, and that's just because I've been super busy, but I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, so she's currently in a relationship. He's her ex, not currently in a relationship, but is also having like a budding romance with the person playing her in the movie. I don't know, there's a lot to unpack here. It's feeling like a lot. Also, from listening to the audiobook, I can tell you that this is in 3rd person, and it's also following, like, we're not just following Ivy and Nick. We've also gotten an entire chapter in the POV of the guy playing Nick in the movie, and I don't really know why we needed that, and I also don't know if we're gonna continue to get things like that. I feel like that's a little unnecessary. I don't know. I'm personally not a huge fan of romance books having more POVs than just our main couple, like, that we're watching or following, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm kind of just feeling really mixed emotions on this so far. I am starting to get a lot more interested now that I feel like the plot is really starting to pick up. I feel like we're starting to get closer to them having this reunion after 5 years of not seeing each other since they broke up. And so I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm getting more intrigued the further into it I get, but I'm just conflicted on my feelings, not really sure how I'm feeling. So that's where we're at right now. That was a really big update. But anyways, we're gonna sit down and I'm actually gonna like physically read this for a little while. We're just gonna see what the hell happens, guys. Let's get reading, shall we? Literally what we're doing right now. Okay, Okay, I gotta say, when our main character Ivy first met Amari, which is the girl that's playing her in the movie, she described her as like one of the nicest people she had ever met, and that's like what she's seen as. Like she's like an up and coming actress, she's like really big right now, and that she's always just talked about that she's like so nice. But I don't know why I'm just so put off by her. Like she just kind of annoys me. Like I don't know, she gives me really bad vibes. So, and like what she's saying right now, I don't know, it just gave me bad vibes. Like why are you saying that? Like just back up. I don't know, maybe it's me. Yeah 2 pages later, I still don't like her. What is she? I actually really do not like this chick. Oh my god. Hey besties, I wanted to come and give you guys a little reading update, and I thought that we would sit outside on my porch. It is feeling like a bad idea now because it's only 10 o'clock and it already feels like 88 out here. The humidity is so high. I'm actually dying in this sweater, and the fact that I just showered, and the fact that I also have a hot coffee that will not be getting drank until I get inside and cool off. But I already committed and I'm already out here, so we're just gonna do it and we're just gonna deal with it. So anyways, I am currently on page 195, chapter 19, so I am about 61% through this. I honestly was debating if I was even gonna come and give you guys another reading update before finishing it, but I feel like I had not a lot, but some thoughts that I did really want to share with you guys. I was listening to the audiobook of this last night while I did the dishes and made dinner, and oh my god, was I having some thoughts. So first of all, I just want to say that me saying earlier that I did not like Amari, which is the actress playing her in this movie, and how I just felt like she was fake and I just didn't like her, was not vibing with her. I am really glad that I picked up on that immediately. I don't know if everyone does, if we're supposed to, but she is really starting to show her true colors, and oh my god, I do not like her. Like the more I read this book and the more scenes we get with her, the more I dislike her. It's actually insane. I will also say, update from earlier, because I was really unsure if this was like second chance and like how that was gonna work, because the synopsis literally says that Nick is like having a fling with Amari, which is again the actress playing Iris. So I really was unsure how that was gonna go. So they're both like having flings. Like Iris, her name is Ivy. What am I saying? Pregnancy brain has really been going hard, because if you watched my summer book recs video, why was I referring to Miles in Funny Story as Ethan the whole time? Didn't even catch it when I was editing. I don't know how, and I've gotten so many comments of you guys being like, girl, his name is Miles, are you okay? I am okay, I'm just pregnant and pregnancy brain. It's a real thing. Anyways, that's besides the point. Ivy is currently dating, has a boyfriend with Drew, who's the producer of this movie, and so we have that dynamic, but then we also have Nick over here, and he's kind of having like a fling with Amari. They're kind of like hanging out and seeing each other, but they're not like officially dating, I guess you could say. Now I will say, when that first started to get introduced, I was a little put off by it, because I was like, I really don't love the trope of like two people kind of realizing that they want to get back together or they want to be together, and there be other people involved that they are involved with. However, Drew and Amari both are such unlikable characters. Clearly the relationship between Ivy and Drew isn't going perfectly smooth either, and she's thinking a lot about Nick, so I'm giving it a pass this one time, because I think that I'm happy that it's at least done in the sense that like the other two are very unlikable, and like there is definitely a lot of issues in both relationships, so I guess that kind of works out, I guess. I don't really know, but those were my two main thoughts while I was listening to this yesterday. Was wow, they are both so unlikable, and oh my god, Amari just keeps getting worse and worse, and I'm really glad that I didn't like her from the start. So that is basically my update. We are going to be finishing this book up today. I'm super excited. We only have a little over 100 pages left, so it should be fairly easy to get this book finished. I feel like once I get to that point where I have like just over 100 or just under 100 pages left, I feel like it usually goes super fast and I can just fly through it. So we're gonna finish this up today. We are not gonna sit on the porch and read. I was debating doing that, but I did not expect it to be this hot already this morning, so we're actually gonna go inside and we're gonna do a little reading, and we are gonna finish this baby up. And oh my god, I need to stop because I'm actually dying. Let's go read.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
Okay.
You and me, doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart.
Okay guys, obviously I have now finished The Summer of Christmas. I almost said The Summer Romance. First of all, that's not a title of a book, and well, maybe it is. Not one I've ever heard of. Okay, anyways. The Summer of Christmas by Juliet and Keith Giglio, and I have such mixed feelings about this book, to be honest, because I really wish that I would have enjoyed the first 60% as much as I enjoyed the last 40%. I feel like, so this is definitely second chance romance, okay? Which, mind you, is a trope that I haven't read in a while, and I really enjoyed it. However, I feel like it took a really long time for us to actually start getting to see like the dynamic and really see Ivy and Nick interacting, because I feel like for a majority of this they weren't really interacting, but it didn't feel like an intentional slow burn to me. It just felt like, I don't know, that's just what we were doing for whatever reason. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's just how it felt. Also, this is written in third person, and I have mixed feelings about that, because on one hand I didn't really love it. We ended up getting a lot of different characters' POVs, and sometimes it would switch. Like, obviously it's third person, so we're not really in their POV, but you can tell that we're like specifically following one character, right? So sometimes we would just randomly switch what character we were following in the middle of a chapter, and it would take me a second to be like, oh, okay, now we're following this person rather than this person. And a part of me really hated it, but then a part of me did kind of enjoy it, because it felt like we were more so getting the, I don't know if this is really a small town that they're living in, it kind of felt like it, but on one hand I hated it, like I said, and then in one hand I thought it was fun because it felt like we were getting more of the small town in general and really getting to know more of the characters, which on one hand is fun, but on the other hand it kind of felt out of place a little bit. So mixed feelings on that, not really sure how I feel about it. Also, when we get to the point in this book at the end where obviously the second chance comes, I guess, to fruition, you could say, our like relationship that Ivy and Drew had, it's like he suddenly just doesn't care and is like, I'm so happy for you, congratulations you two. And I'm just like, so 2 chapters ago I'm supposed to believe that you're a jealous ex-boyfriend, and now you just like don't care. And then Amari, like that whole situation was just honestly confusing. Like, I don't know, honestly I feel like the separate love interest aspect of this book was a little bit confusing and just didn't feel like very smooth, I guess. I don't really know how else to word that. But yeah, once we really started to get more interactions between Nick and Ivy and really started to just understand, okay, this is a second chance and they're clearly still in love with each other and we're watching everything that's happening, I started to enjoy this so much more, and I wish that we would have gotten more of that at the beginning of the book. Also, I feel like a few parts of this just felt so outlandish, and there was a part of me that was like, okay, this is so like far-fetched, which it's fine, it's a fictional book, but part of me was like, this is so far-fetched, like what are we doing here? Like, did we need to do this just because it's a Christmas romance? But the other hand was like, but it's also kind of fun. Like, I was kind of battling with myself, and I think it's because I just kind of started off this book not feeling very attached and really enjoying it. So I don't know, overall I had a really confusing time with this book, but the last 40% of this I did really enjoy. I just kind of, I don't know, feeling very nitpicky about it. I will say, however, that I would still recommend this. I feel like other people, if you go into this just having no expectations, you could potentially really love this. I did see a few 5-star reads on like the Audible listing whenever I was looking at it. So I feel like some people could really love this. Some people might absolutely hate it. I will say this was literally Christmas in July. Like, they were filming this Christmas movie in July, so it was perfect for this video. It was perfect to read for me doing Christmas in July, so that part felt very perfect. So yeah, overall I would still recommend this. I still enjoyed my time. I just didn't enjoy the whole time, and I think I settled on a very particular rating, and that is a 3.75, because it was definitely more than a 3-star, and at one point I was thinking a 3.5, but I thoroughly enjoyed the ending of this book. Like, the last like 30% I was just hanging on to every word and I really loved it. So I was like, okay, maybe a 4, but also there's just so many things that I did either not like or have very mixed feelings on that I was like, but it's not a 4-star. So I'm settling on a very specific 3.75 for this book. And I think that feels right. So that is my official review of The Summer of Christmas. And those are the only 2 books that I'm going to be reading in this video because I need to start filming some other fun reading vlogs for you guys. But yeah, I'm feeling like both of these books were not huge hits for me. So that's kind of sad, especially because I feel like most of the Christmas romances that I've read, I've actually really loved. But one thing that I feel like I'm really learning about myself is that I am not a spice person. I feel like when I first started reading, I was reading a lot of books with spice and that was really all I was reading. So then when I started to read more books and I started to read a lot more books that didn't have spice, now when I read books with spice, like The Christmas Tree Farm, I get so detached from the story because I just don't care to see that. I want all the buildup without actually getting like in-depth descriptions of them having sex. So this book actually had no spice. This was pretty closed door. Well, was it? Okay, we'll say this had a little bit of spice, but it was very like minimal. Like I would seriously on a spice scale give this like a 1 out of 5 spiciness. That sounds really funny, but this was like pretty minimal. And even when it started talking about the sex, it wasn't super descriptive and it didn't last very long. And I think that's part of why I got more into and more attached to this story. I will say I genuinely have not thought about The Christmas Tree Farm at all since finishing it. The only times I have thought about it, my thoughts are exactly, what did I read? I don't even remember how that book ended at all. I'm looking back and I'm like, should I have given that a 3-star? It's feeling like it was maybe a 2.5. Let's be so for real. Maybe I was being a little generous, but anyways. So yeah, feeling like a little bit of a flop because neither of these were huge hits, but I still had so much fun and I'm very proud of myself because it's the beginning of the month and I've already read as many books as I read in total last month. So we're off to a great start. That is it for this video. Sorry, I'm a yapper. You probably already know that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not already because we have a lot of fun over here and we want you to join the fun. And I'm just so excited for all the videos coming up. And if you haven't been paying attention, I am back to uploading 2 times a week and I'm feeling so good about it. So I love you guys so much and I will hopefully see you in the next one, which will be out in literally like 3 days. Okay, bye. Oh, forgot to say peace. Peace. I am a dingus. I am a dork and I don't know how to shut up. So hi, be rocking. That looked crazy. The Christmas Tree Farm. I don't know why I couldn't figure out what this was called. Whoa, hello.
I got you love this Christmas.
Whoa, the Christmas should be a pretty easy, quick finish. That's what she said.
Stack the hearts and all the rest, warm me up.
I'm very lucky to say. I will say I'm very lucky to say. Obviously we have the cinnamon bun. Whoa. Whoa, like hello? Whoa. Oh my god, I need help. Whoa.
My very own Christmas love.
Whoa. That was weird. That's for the bloopers. Guys, I was so locked in on reading that I swore my viewfinder was black and I was like, oh my god, my camera turned off. It's not black. There I am in a bright red sweatshirt. I need help. I feel so out of breath and I'm just sitting here. I guess I just got up to use the bathroom, but that's not doing very much now, is it, guys? And that's on being pregnant. Whoa. Why am I talking about this? Oh my god, goodbye.